The film opens with an animated prologue showing an ancient war between humans and vampires. Vampires are faster and stronger, but humans survive using the sun and retreat into walled cities ruled by the church. To win the war, the church creates the priests, elite warriors with supernatural skills. The priests defeat the vampires and force the survivors into reservations, but afterward the church fears their power and disbands them. The priests become outcasts, while the church tightens its control. Years later, in the wasteland beyond the city, Owen checks radiation levels and tells his wife Shannon the land may be safe to farm. Their daughter Lucy returns home and jokes about the food. When she admits she went into town, Owen scolds her for disobeying him. Lucy argues she is old enough, but Owen insists the rules are different in the outpost. Feeling trapped, Lucy lashes out until Shannon calms them by saying grace. The ground suddenly shakes. Owen looks outside and sees vampires approaching. He tells Shannon and Lucy to hide. Shannon locks Lucy in a secret basement, warning her not to scream, and stays to help Owen. Lucy hears gunfire, and her parents screams as they are torn apart. Then the hatch opens, and someone steps inside, horrifying her. The scene shifts to Cathedral City, still tightly controlled by the church. Clergy watch the population at all times. As a priest walks through the streets, church bells ring and everyone stops in reverence, while a voice declares that opposing the church is opposing God. The priest enters an automated confessional and asks forgiveness. The system recognizes his voice, and an AI version of Monsignor Orelas appears. He confesses recurring dreams about the vampire war and failing to save one of his men. He admits his faith is weakening. Orelas responds that evil takes many forms and can be resisted through sacrifice and labor, then assigns prayers. Later, the priest rides an elevator with a woman and her son. The boy asks about his tattoo, but his mother quickly tells him not to speak to priests. Outside his apartment, the priest bumps into a man who has been following him. The man introduces himself as Hicks, the sheriff from Augustine, where the priest's brother Owen lives. He tells him Owen is injured, Shannon is dead, and Lucy has been taken by vampires. Hicks follows him inside and explains that Lucy spoke of him as a war hero, the best vampire killer. He plans to rescue her and wants the priest's help. Unable to decide, the priest goes to the ruling clergy to request reinstatement of his authority. Monsignor Orelas, already briefed by Monsignor Chamberlain, listens as the priest reports the vampire attack. Orelas dismisses the claim, laughing and insisting no vampire has escaped the reservations, blaming wasteland bandits instead and saying the sheriff is wrong. The Monsignor insists there is no longer a vampire threat. Chamberlain tries to support the priest, but the Monsignor shuts it down and orders him not to undermine public faith. When the priest keeps pressing, he is warned that questioning the clergy is forbidden. Disobedience will mean removal from the order and excommunication. Meanwhile, Lucy is held in a cage aboard a speeding train, taunted by vampires until Black Hat appears. He claims the cage is for her protection. Lucy warns that her uncle, the priest, will come for her, unaware that Black Hat is relying on exactly that. Chamberlain later tells the priest the decision is final. The priest is bitter that, after all his sacrifices, they refuse to listen. Chamberlain insists the war ended long ago, but the priest disagrees. Chamberlain urges him not to commit sacrilege over what he believes are just scavengers and to think of the greater good. As police storm the bar, the priest decides otherwise. Breaking his vows, he swiftly takes down the officers one by one. Later, the priest prepares his weapons and mounts his bike, leaving Cathedral City behind. He crosses into the harsh wasteland and speeds toward his brother's outpost. At the ruined homestead, he finds a family photo. The sheriff first suspects looting, but recognizes the priest and welcomes him. They ride into town together. In town, the sheriff throws out a salesman selling fake anti-vampire weapons. The locals protest, saying they need protection, but Hicks insists there are no vampires. Later, the priest meets Owen, who is critically wounded. Owen asks why he never returned, and the priest admits he couldn't. When Owen regrets failing to save Shannon because he lacked the priest's gift, the priest comforts him, saying he gave her a life he never could and that she always remembered him. Owen makes him promise to find Lucy and kill the vampires. Afterward, Hicks warns the priest that the clergy is searching for him and has forbidden Lucy's rescue. Hicks asks to join the mission, but the priest tests him by refusing. Hicks proves himself by slicing a bullet in half midair with a knife. When the priest asks about his shooting skills, Hicks says he is even better with a gun. As he leaves, Hicks asks why the priest is preparing bullets if priests do not use guns. The priest answers that they are for him. Back in Cathedral City, a squad of priests receives orders from the Monsignors to bring the priest in, dead or alive. One priestess objects, but they ride out anyway. The priest attends his brother's funeral, buried beside Shannon. At Owen's outpost, Hicks asks what he has found. The priest discovers footprints that do not belong to vampires or their familiars, and they follow the trail toward the nearest vampire reservation. Hicks explains it is a fallen tribe, and time is short as night approaches. Inside the reservation, there are no guards, only illegal familiars everywhere. Hicks explains many are volunteers, hoping to be infected. A familiar warns them the priest is not welcome, claiming the land is protected. When asked about Lucy, he insists no one passed through. They force the gate open and find the place ruined, with guards' bodies scattered. The priest enters a cell and threatens a familiar, saying he will open his master's coffin unless he reveals Lucy's location. More familiars appear and attack. Hicks is ambushed outside, but the priest arrives in time, killing all but one. He questions the survivor, who defends the vampires, and calls the priest the real monster. As the sun sets, the familiar tells him he is too late because the night belongs to them. After sunset, vampires rise from their coffins and surround the priest and Hicks. The priest opens a Bible as if to pray, then pulls hidden weapons from its pages and kills 2 vampires. He fights another while Hicks tries to shoot one but is overpowered, forcing the priest to finish it. One vampire suddenly screams and flees. The priest questions the familiar again and learns Lucy was taken west, though the familiar warns he has no idea what is coming. The fleeing vampire returns and attacks. After a brutal fight inside the reservation, only the priest emerges alive while Hicks waits outside with his gun. They regroup and discuss their next move. The priest believes Lucy was taken to the Sola Mira hive in the west. Hicks thought all hives were destroyed, but they agree to check, hoping to find both Lucy and the missing vampires. The priest gives Hicks tips on killing vampires, explaining they do not move like humans and must be anticipated. Elsewhere, the town salesman meets Black Hat and asks for payment in exchange for information. Black Hat threatens to drink his blood, so the salesman talks anyway, revealing that the priest arrived in town with the sheriff after Lucy was taken. Black Hat praises him, then drinks his blood and turns him into a familiar. At the same time, the priestess reaches the outpost and follows their trail. The priest and Hicks ride west. During a break, the priest asks if Owen knew about Hicks and Lucy. Hicks says no, but admits he loved her. The priest warns that if Lucy is infected, he will kill her. Hicks refuses to allow that. They reach the hive and climb its walls. Inside, the priest flashes back to the war. He lights the area and tells Hicks to shoot anything that moves unless it is him. The priest drops into a shaft. Hicks finds a child's toy buried in the dirt and explores his level as a creature appears behind him. Meanwhile, the priest searches the tunnels and follows someone running ahead. Near a light, he is ambushed by the priestess. She tells him the clergy sent her and that she split from the others at the reservation. He admits he broke his vow because he had no choice. Gunshots echo nearby. They find Hicks, and the priest explains the creature is a massive hive guardian. The priest and priestess leap into battle. The guardian knocks the priest unconscious and chases the priestess, circling above before attacking. Working together, they reach the creature, and the priest lands the final strike. It suddenly stirs again, and Hicks finishes it with a gunshot. Later, the priest and priestess talk while Hicks guards the entrance. Priestess wonders why an abandoned hive would still have a guardian. She warns that Hicks will try to stop the priest from killing Lucy if she is infected. The priest doubts he could stop him. They talk about life after the war and the damage it left behind. Priestess admits she will not arrest him and says she came only to warn him. Like him, she suffers from war trauma, and in her better moments, she thinks of him. The three continue deeper into the hive and reach a rebuilt section. Inside, they discover a massive new hive, designed to raise an army, but it is completely empty. As they investigate, Priestess tells Hicks that the priest was taken by the clergy later than the others and that his sacrifice was greater. Hicks senses a change in the air, and they find a large exit leading toward the town of Jericho, where the other priests are headed. At the same time, a vampire train arrives at Jericho Station, shocking the station worker. No one exits. When he approaches the door, a vampire kills him. Black Hat steps out and signals the hunt to begin. Vampires attack the town. One crashes into a home and kills a father as chaos spreads. Black Hat directs the assault like a performance. Suddenly, the 3 priests sent after the priest confront him. He kills the first with ease. Black Hat then offers the remaining 2 a chance to join him. By morning, they reach the town and find it deserted. They split up to search the buildings. Priestess discovers dynamite, while the priest enters an empty house. Hicks and Priestess regroup, and he says no one is left alive. She replies there were too many mouths to feed. They find the priest in the town square, praying over the bodies of the slain priests. Priestess kneels beside him. Hicks asks what kind of vampire could kill 3 priests. The priest says it is something new, then realizes how the vampires disappeared before sunrise. They head to the train station, where Hicks explains the rail leads directly to the cities, with Jericho as the last wasteland stop. The priest and priestess realize it was all a calculated plan to draw the priests out of the cities, leaving them defenseless for a full vampire assault. Priestess reveals the dynamite and lays out a plan. She will destroy the railway while the priest and Hicks rescue Lucy from the train. The priest goes to fuel the bikes. Meanwhile, Black Hat offers food to a battered Lucy. He says he wants freedom from sin and punishment. Lucy secretly hides a knife and asks what he is. Black Hat claims vampires are purer than humans and that he will cleanse the world. He adds that she and the priest will help him do it. Back in Jericho, Hicks asks how the priest could kill Lucy if she is infected, knowing she is his own blood. Priestess says that once someone becomes a familiar, they are no longer human. Before leaving, they burn the bodies of the fallen priests. Priestess reminds the priest that his power comes from God, not the church. She admits she loves him and confesses that part of her hoped Shannon's death would finally free him. She gives him a special weapon and rides away. As they move toward the train, Hicks stops and threatens to kill the priest unless he promises not to kill Lucy if she is turned. He cannot understand why he even cares. Priestess reveals the truth. Lucy is the priest's daughter. She was taken when she was a baby, and he gave her to Owen as his sacrifice. The priest tells Hicks that killing him will doom Lucy, and that they can only save her together. Near the train, the priest tells Priestess to destroy the tracks no matter what. Hicks boards the train from the rear. Priestess races ahead, chased by familiar riders, activates her nitro, and escapes. Hicks enters the vampire lair inside the train. The priest climbs onto the roof, where Black Hat waits. It's revealed that Black Hat was once a priest and a close friend of his, whom he thought was dead during the war. Black Hat explains that the vampire queen turned him into a human-vampire hybrid and invites the priest to join him so they can return to the city as brothers. When the priest asks about Lucy, Black Hat says she is waiting for his choice. The priest attacks, but Black Hat blocks him and claims he is now stronger and cannot be beaten. Meanwhile, Priestess rigs the explosives on the tracks and arms them as riders close in. She charges into the fight and kills them all with precision and power. She then notices a familiar has dismantled the detonator and quickly forms a new plan. On the train, the priest and Black Hat battle nearly as equals, but Black Hat keeps gaining the advantage. He again urges the priest to join him. The priest refuses and attacks, but Black Hat dodges every strike, knocks him down, and believes he has fallen beneath the train, unaware the priest is clinging to it. Inside, Hicks fights through the train, escapes awakening vampires, and spots Lucy being dragged away by a familiar. As he prepares to blast the door, the priest smashes into the car. Vampires swarm in. Hicks fires, then blasts holes in the ceiling to let sunlight pour through. They chase Lucy until Black Hat blocks them and throws Hicks off the train. Hicks survives and grabs a familiar's motorcycle. Black Hat overwhelms the priest, but Lucy breaks free and sets the familiar on fire. Black Hat then reveals that the priest is her father. The fight resumes, and Black Hat pins the priest to a wall with a blade. He drags Lucy off the train, leaving the priest behind to burn. At the same time, Priestess straps the explosives to her bike and speeds toward the train. The priest regains consciousness and pulls himself free. As Black Hat prepares to turn Lucy, the priest attacks. Lucy slips, but he catches her. They hang off the side of the train as Black Hat moves in to push them off. Priestess launches from her bike as it crashes into the train, and the priest jumps clear with Lucy. The explosion destroys the train and wipes out the vampires. Hicks races to the blast site and finds the priest and Lucy alive. Lucy runs into his arms. Priestess joins them as Black Hat's hat falls to the ground. Later, the priest interrupts a mass led by Monsignor Orelas. Orelas mocks his return, until the priest drops a vampire head at his feet and tells him to look at the burning train outside the city. He warns that the vampire queen was not among the dead. Orelas calls him a liar and a threat. The priest replies that the war with the vampires is only beginning and walks away. In the wasteland, he meets Priestess, who says she has informed the others to meet at a rendezvous in another city. The priest rides off into the sunset. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.